Okay. Nick Marshall and Penny Cage were each carving a love heart into a tree. PC loves NM heart. NM loves PC heart. Then they shared a kiss. Just then, two invisible dog-like creatures attacked them. What happened to them? Well, let's just say it wasn't pretty. Then a high-pitched whistle sound cut through the morning silence, and the two animals ran off. Then they got back to their ship, and the alien greeted them and said, it greeted the two dog-like creatures and said, "What have you two been up to?" Inside the ship, he greets another alien who is working over a table screen. There were charts, and he was trying to determine location. "It's crazy," he said. "The computer cannot recognize a single star in the night sky." Just then, a female alien called out, and the two males moved towards a different table. Suddenly, they grabbed a human who was cloaked and believed himself to be invisible. But the contact lenses that the aliens wear, part of their new skin body armor, that is the latest in hunting gear, sold on their home planet, keeps them connected to the ship's AI, which checks for that sort of thing. Checks all the spectrums constantly. So the human uncloaked, and they said, "Who are you and what do you want?" "I'm Wilbur. I was just cutting through Old Man Walker's fields on my way to town, and I heard some noise, and so I checked it out, and that one," he said, pointing to IT, "I saw where he had put down at the watering hole before he jumped in and took a swim this gear, so I picked it up and followed him back here." "Well," said the lead, so I picked it up and put it on, and realized it was, like an invisibility cloak. And wait a minute, let me just do this, so I'll be able to go back to that point. And followed him back here. "Well," said the lead alien, "thank God you didn't bring that hunting gear back into town, because our whole cloaking technology is based on this, and your planet is not yet ready for such knowledge. Even if it was, we wouldn't be the ones to be giving it to you. Honey, set up another plate for our guest." So the four of them ate. The human was named Jeremy, the alien leader was Jew, and the female alien was Sue. Who was Jew's girlfriend. And the smaller alien was Aiti, Jew's best friend. I might have to change the lead alien's name. It's Jui, but Aiti rhymes with mighty. After they ate, the human said, "Well, I have to be off now. I've got a store to open. Thank you kindly for the food." "Nice to meet you," they said. So a minute after Jeremy left the ship, the lead alien released a third dog-like creature, a primal, to go after him. And it tracked him down and ate him, then returned to the ship. Then the three primals lined up side by side. Then Ziu, Ju, and Aiti stood in front of them and touched, each one of them touched the corresponding primal's forehead as their entire bodies began to shake as they transformed into Nick, Marshall, and Penny, and Jeremy McDaniels. Ziu, Ju, and Aiti crumpled to the ground. Marshall, Penny, Cage, and Jeremy picked them up and put them in their sleep pods. Their minds had migrated to the primals. They were experiencing life now, feeling, seeing through their senses. Marshall, Penny, and Jeremy looked around. "This world looks nothing like the hunting reserve we were headed to. The ship uses a Trillium engine to space jump, to space shift and move in the direction. All you do is move in the direction you want to go, and then the ship engages the Trillium engines, and you were there in moments. The ship believes that we were struck by and then rode a gravitational wave a great distance. A great distance indeed. And so we are going to need a great deal more Trillium if we are ever to get back home. A man on a tractor saw Penny running. What the, he thought. Then he saw her fall, so he got off the tractor and went to investigate. When he was set upon by the three of them. In town, Penny attracted three young men into an alley, and then Nick and Jeremy followed in after them. The three feasted, and then sought out a place of safety to sleep. That night they went out again to prowl and saw two young people exiting a bar at closing time. So they captured them, then brought them back to their den to feed. In the morning, Jeremy set out for a solo hunt. The posse had set up a trap, and they caught Jeremy in it. They were surprised he was such a talker. "Why'd you do it, son?" asked the sheriff. "Well, my friends and I take this hunting trip to a game reserve on Meldry every year, and somehow by accident we ended up here on your planet. So we decided that since we'd already paid for the primals, and they're only good for a week, that we would enjoy our vacation and then worry about how we got home later." "Yeah," said the sheriff. "Well, where'd you say you were from again?" "Oh, we are Tullens from a planet called Wussen. Or at least the real me is. This is just a primal. We use primals to hunt because they are us, our DNA. It's as if, it's our DNA at its most primal point just before we started down the road of civilization. So the computer takes our DNA, replicates our DNA, and then sequences a primal, leaving out all of the changes made to our DNA over the last 10,000 years. And an artificial Tulan blank is created from whole cloth. And then we transfer our consciousness into it, and within the primals, we are still us, just an us free of the governors that society has placed upon us, the changes that have happened to us over the last 10,000 years, that stop us from expressing our true selves, our primal selves. And we are free to roam in the wild and experience the hunt as our ancestors experienced it. It's really quite exhilarating. When my appearance is that of the person you know as Jeremy, that is just an illusion of the mind, a mental projection, nothing more. This primal before you, its true appearance is much different from what you see. It is long of fang and tooth, just like the primal beast I am descended from. Jeremy is simply my camouflage, but when I get angry, when I snap, I cannot maintain my mental projection, and I am my primal self revealed, the beast unleashed. Well, you'll fit right into prison, son. Just then Nick and Penny attacked and freed Jeremy. When a member of the posse who had been in the brush surprised them, and he got off a shot striking Jeremy before he was eviscerated by Nick. Before the deputy was eviscerated by Nick. "I wasn't ready," said Jeremy. "I wasn't ready." Whoops. Nope, I don't want that. I wasn't ready, and then Jeremy began to change, and oozed, and the gases were released, and soon all that was left was a wet spot on the ground, and a foul stench in the air. Nick and Penny looked at each other. It's on, said Nick. Oh, yeah, said Penny. They burst into a church, and long of tooth and claw they avenged their friend in a bloody scene of carnage. Before the minister reached his rifle, and grabbing it, he shot Nick as Penny took the minister's head clean off with a single swipe of her hand. Then she turned back, and Nick already vanished. "One day is not enough," she screamed. "We paid for 7. She made it to the river, and then she heard a new posse. She knew Heidi and Jui would be watching, and she wanted to make them proud. 20 members of the posse went into the woods. None came out. Walking across a field, a bullet just missed Penny. So as she was running for cover, she heard a helicopter. She crouched down, thought for a moment, then sprung off in a new direction, running for the trees. Both the sharpshooter on the ground and the one in the helicopter claimed the kill shot. Back on board their ship, Penny said, "That was fun." "Yes, it was," Heidi and Jui agreed. So they took off in the ship and scanned the entire planet as they circled it. But no Trillium was found. So they set off towards the stars in the direction of home, deciding to scan every planet along the way for the Trillium their engines needed to get them home, refusing to believe that it would be millions of years before they saw their home world again. The end.